Hello everyone, and welcome to this breakdown of the Gold Playoff Semi-finals for the Season 23 of ICBBL. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take a look at the games, the core, go through a bit of through the important turns of the games, the decisions the coaches made. I will provide my own feedback, of course, though maybe it may not be relevant sometimes, maybe it will, who knows. So if you're interested, let's start with this game, Demon's Dirty Delights versus Demon himself. Um, so BMNK won this. I think it's a very interesting game, and let's go take a look at it. Um, so very soon you'll notice a couple of really interesting things here and there. But yep. So Rats chose to go on offense, which makes a lot of sense. They wanna be the ones to hit. They've got some claw mighty blowers, so makes a lot of sense. Rats got an extra Apo, which is fair enough. That allows them to keep their team safer and also to power Apo if need be. Demon's obviously too expensive to be able to do anything, so he didn't do anything. Um, so yeah, to begin with, we can see that obviously Bimink is aiming at these guys because they're obviously easy to take down. Um, easy to dice. They don't have blocks, so they don't even fear 1 in 9. So, as long as they avoid the 1 in 1296, it's all good for them. Removing them obviously does reduce the pitch presence of the orcs, and since the orcs don't have any bench, any removals that BMNK gets are going to stick and are going to be very, very important because they're going to reduce the pitch presence of the orcs, which is one of their biggest strengths, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, Demon probably should invest into a bench, um, but that's that. Fortunately for Demon and Beer Monkey, they both get rocked, but for Demon's just a stun, so that's good. For Beer Monkey, it's a KO, which it's a bit annoying, but it's okay. I think he can deal with that. So he starts by taking some line of scrimmage blocks. Very good. Yep, and here comes the first removal. Claw, Mighty Blow doing some stuff. Uh, they both were used. So Claw to break the armor and Mighty Blow to get a KO instead of a stun. We're about to see the game turn into a very dangerous one for Demon because he's about to get hit by Claw Mighty Blow, which was the obvious move to make, to be honest. Yep, and there goes the casualty. Demon choosing not to power Apo. Very important. I mean, at the same time, it's probably not worth it when he's got this much pitch advantage. Monkey, it's worth noting that we always say safe moves first, but let's take a look at this. He took all the line of scrimmage blocks before he even. There we go. So he started by taking the line of scrimmage blocks before he did anything, and then only after he'd taken all the blocks, he moved this guy there. If he didn't intend to do anything with this guy from the first moment, he probably would have been better off just putting him here before he did any of this. Admittedly, yes, these guys are not quite there, but still. Safe moves first. What if it had been a 1 in 1296 or something like that? It can happen. It can happen. But yeah, anyway. So Demon makes the pickup. Shit, we skipped too much, didn't we? And now it's time for Demon to get his turn going. So he starts with the all men's base, which is, it's interesting because um, Bearman Key's ability to deal with such overwhelming strength is somewhat limited. Um, I do like the screen that Beer Monkey did, and in that he put these guys so that only three players could get beast, meaning that for next turn he's got one, two, three, four, five, six players that are potentially going to be able to move unimpeded next turn. So that's very impressive, very important. Um, yes, so Demon obviously kept these guys busy. This guy should be he should have been the target for the Blitz in my opinion. And I mean, obviously, um, result result-based decision making isn't the way to go about this game. But um, there were no GFIs required in order to blitz this guy, and it was an easy 3 dice, which obviously would have been a lot more impressive. I think it's important. I mean, I know it's very tempting to blitz this guy because he's very powerful and he can put you in a lot of trouble. But the real thing that's important here is that, well, there's two things that should be kept into consideration. First things first, um, the moment that rats start losing their chaff, they're gonna start exposing their important pieces whether they like it or not. So I think it's important to get rid of the chaff before you go to the grain. And the second thing is that this guy, even if you piled on this guy, um, and admittedly, maybe you will get a removal, maybe you won't, but no matter what, this guy's getting foul the ever-living shit out of him. You gotta bear in mind that when you've got Palm, uh, it's important that you keep your players clustered together so that you don't give any really good assists. So I think this guy was the perfect target to blitz, to be perfectly honest. Maybe even with Frenzy, one, two, three, four, five, six. There might have been a GFI involved if it was with Frenzy, but yes, what matters is that you get them. Maybe just play it safe at the beginning. It's probably better, yeah. So it's important that you get them clustered together to keep them tight so that you don't give good fouls on this because this is getting fouled. He's only got like 2 pommers, one and two. He's only got like, and he's also got like 4 tackle pieces. So obviously these two targets with palm and tackle are the biggest targets ever. Um, It's a bit risky to foul him considering he's got jump up, so if you fail to get the AV break, you might be in trouble. But at the same time, you have to foul this. You have to, because if you remove him, suddenly Demon's team is starting to crumble. -3 players for Orcs is a terrible, terrible situation for any Orc team to be in. Um, so yeah, I think it was important that he kept him with the others instead of doing this. So here comes the foul. And what's it gonna be? It's gonna be it's gonna be a KO. Totally deserved. Like I say, you want to keep your palmers close to the rest of the pieces. That way you don't give any good fouls. This was an easy foul. Obviously, it happened because he failed the 1 in 36, but at the same time, if he'd palmed, which was likely, it would have still gotten fouled like this, and that's not ideal. Um, So the only downside of this foul is that Monkey has to expose more players to getting based, but at the same time, the Orcs have lost 3 pieces already, so that's really not ideal. Um, yep, Demon getting the power there, very important. Yeah, I didn't get removed. That's pretty fortunate for Monkey. Not very fortunate for Demon, but yeah. I think it's all about being persistent with good palms. I think this palm is very good compared to the previous one that Demon probably had in mind. Um, and even if he didn't have it in mind, you don't want to keep any straggler behind. It's important to keep a nice, tight, compact formation. That's probably the biggest uh, mistake I can see from Demon is that he did not keep his formation compact enough. Orcs are very strong if they keep their formation nice and tight. Every edge is like protected by a guard piece and what have you. So yeah, obviously now this is gonna be the blitz, and Beermanke's trying to minimize blocks as best he can. As you can tell, he made all his dodges, so obviously Beermanke some degree of success with those dodges, and there you go. Still, I think Demon needs to carry on with a plan that keeps his team nice and tight as much as humanly possible. He's in a horrible position. Let's face it. At this point, if he doesn't get removals, this is 100% in the Rats' favor. Uh, and yeah, all it took was removing 3 pieces, but 3 very important pieces. I mean, this one in particular, but obviously the guard Blackrock is also very useful. Um, I think, yeah. So he's obviously going. Beermink is obviously going to go for the corners, so he's probably going to block this and then blitz this, because once he gets another Black Orc out of the pitch, suddenly the Orcs have lost a lot of pitch presence and they're in a lot of trouble. Double schools for Beer Monkey to begin the turn, so that was something. Um, but yeah, I think Beer Monkey is doing a fairly decent job at minimizing blocks. Last turn, I think his formation was a tad too compact um, for my taste, but it is what it is. Also, if I might say something with respect to Demon's formation, is that you probably want to keep the line orc at the edge of the formation was very good, but then you probably want as a second piece in the as a second piece where the black orc was, you probably wanted the troll or a strength 5 piece, because then for Biermanke blitzing the edge of the formation becomes a lot harder. He needs to commit many more players, and obviously that opens up to a less optimal positioning. Whereas here, what we can say is that Demon can essentially only base 3 players without blitzing beforehand. So, and even if he blitzes, Monkey still has like 3 players that are going to be completely unmarked. So very good positioning there from Monkey. I like how he's moving the ball left and right. He probably doesn't actually intend to like reverse that much. He's probably only doing it to scatter the pieces as much as he can, making them run and stuff. But at this point, like, he can just wait until turn 7 to go somewhere around here or around here. And then, obviously, considering the gut runner speed, he can just score from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from here, yes, which is fairly easy. Oh, that's an unlucky one. That's an unlucky one as well. Um, so yeah, Demon has not been having the luckiest of dice, but I think Biermink is doing a good job as well, so that makes it particularly hard for Demon. At this point, I think Demon's a little bit tilted, in my opinion. Probably due to the removals, which makes a lot of sense. This is another removal. Yes, not ideal. The fact that that's another removal. Demons at this point reduced to 7 players, which when your players move 4 or 5, it's a big issue. I'm not gonna lie. Biermanke going aggressively for the strength 5 makes sense. He needs the POW there. Gets the POW, so that's pretty lucky. Yeah, I think Biermanke's been getting the exact results he wants all the time. I wonder if he's going to foul this. I don't. No, he doesn't. That's good because it does free up this guy as well. Although it's worth noting that I probably would have done it the other way around, because that way you do get to foul. Like block with this guy, follow up, and then foul. But whatever. So at this point, it's really no wonder. Like Demon doesn't have many options. He's just gonna keep blitzing as much as he possibly can. He's not getting a lot of POWs, so that's not very Fortunate, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, like I think at this point, DMAN is starting to tilt. However, this is when you need to cool off your head because, in the grand scheme of things, he's only lost one player for the rest of the game. These guys can come back anytime, and if they come back, he's still in the game. If they come back, um, D-Man is pretty much capable of dealing with whatever it is Beer Monkey has to offer. So yeah, at this point, Beer Monkey is starting to move forward to score, which is fair enough because I mean, yeah, there's not much that Beer Monkey can do, the demon can do to stop Beer Monkey. So let's just move forward because there's not really a lot of interesting things to say. He blitzed the troll, but that's about it. At this point, demon just can't do anything really. We'll probably just palm something, keeping obviously the palmer close to the other pieces. So would probably blitz this guy to try to get maximum damage. But yeah, Claw Mighty Blow is also a good target. If you can remove him, that's really good. So this is the save palm, and this is the most rewarding palm. But then again, like I said, he's gonna get fouled if he palms here. That's unlucky because he gets double skulls again. I mean, yeah, because you obviously want to remove him. So this is definitely getting fouled. And like I said, this was the safe palm. Hard to get some good foul in here. Here, Bim and Key can essentially get a seven, not a 7 assist foul, but easily 5 or 6 assist foul. Well, easily. Yeah, easily. Just needs to dodge this and this. Um, so obviously safe moves first. Fair enough. Oh, maybe he's not even gonna foul it. Okay. Bim and Key being very bold with his dodging. Um, which even oh yeah, he was setting up for the foul. Yes. Bit risky for a foul, but it's not like Demon can punish it too much anyway. So here comes the foul. Does make it. Does he break armor? Nope, doesn't break armor. So it's fortunate, reasonably fortunate for Demon, considering the situation. It could be. Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, this situation is not ideal for him. Let's face it. Well, he desperately needs some removals. Probably wants to blitz this guy. Because it's the one he can get away with, essentially. Well, although considering it's turn 8, he can palm anyone he wants. So yeah, I would palm on the Gurren. Oh no, he doesn't. Okay. Yeah, that's not exactly very fortunate, but it is what it is. So yeah, Bear Monkey's about to get a couple of blocks with Claw Mighty Blow, just because if he does get another removal, if he gets another permanent removal, the Orcs are going to be losing a lot of pitch coverage for the second half, assuming that they get all of their KOs back, of course. He gets the push and scores, very nicely done by Birminke. Full team set up into a anti-one turn touchdown formation, and yeah. So this is when I say that, in my opinion, Demon has clearly tilted a little bit, because his setup is something that no ball carrier here, no potential ball carrier here to try to um, two-turn in case of a riot, so that's not ideal. Um, Also, as you can tell, his first hit, sorry, was done by this guy, which he got a removal, which is fair enough. But since since the kickoff event was a riot, he needed this guy to push forward alongside with this guy. He needed his fast pieces. So what he could have done was hit with this backwork, hit with this guy, blitz with this guy to get him free, and then you can put essentially two of you blitzers in scoring range. You can also put this Lionel in scoring range, and this guy probably goes picks up the ball, and at least you've got a scoring threat. But instead he didn't. So instead he just went for the option to kill everything as much as humanly possible, which it's an option. I mean, it's definitely an option that works, but considering that you had the ability to actually score in 2 turns, even if it's slightly unlikely to happen, I still think it was worth a shot. 2, 3. Yeah, so doesn't end up getting any removals from these blocks. So oh, that's me. Let's just see how he does. Yeah, but Monkey just dodges this away. So that's the drive, and as you can tell at this point, Monkey has still his natural one-turner. He's got some bench, so yeah, I mean, Bimink is at full strength, and Demon has one missing backwork, so he's a little bit below his regular strength, but he's still in very good shape. So I think despite the fact that the first drive was horrible for Demon because of all the removals, he's still in the game. He is still very much in the game. The only issue that he's got is that Bear Monkey has the natural one turner with with a leader on the bench, meaning he can just get a free reroll for the second drive for the one turn touchdown. However, I think Demon wants to grind it out as much as humanly possible. Try to get as many removals as he can. Like just be ruthless with these rats, because that's what he needs to do. Uh, and we'll see how this goes. This is yeah. This is a fairly solid formation. Kick, yeah, kick works, but at the same time, Demon got this. Maybe a tad bit of advice is that okay, maybe let's go back to Demon's formation. He's only got one guy that can go back. I would keeping uh probably recommend keeping another guy, one for each flank, and um, just in case of a deep kick. And if you don't get that, then you've got if you didn't get high kick, then you've got to move him backwards, and the rats are going to be pressuring and trying to separate the team into two, um, into the non-agile bunch and the kind of agile bunch. So to minimize that risk, you want to have two pieces, in my opinion, to assist the potential ball carrier. That does help mitigate that effect, but anyway, um, moving on. So Demon got the high kick, and he even got the free catch, so that's pretty nice of him. Gets the mighty blow, gets the pommer to get another injury, so that's starting to work out for him. That's very nice. Eventually, you do want to protect this guy, so you're probably going to be blitzing the kicker, I'm assuming. It's important that you don't allow him, you don't allow the rats to keep getting more removals, and you're probably not going to be able to pile on this turn, I'm afraid. Uh, because you blitz. Oh, what is he doing? Oh no! Oh no! Oh goodness me! Yes, so that's going to be a pile on, I'm assuming. I don't recommend piling on there. Like I said, this guy's completely isolated. This is an easy foul on this guy with a dirty player piece. So definitely do not recommend isolating your killer from the rest of the team. This pylon I can live with because he's still very close by the rest of his orb team. And I would have recommended going after this guy to make sure he's double protected from fouling. Um, but I get that this is a juicy target, but at this point it's more about the numbers than it is about anything else. So obviously Beermonk is going to foul the ever-living hell out of this. Oh, goodness me. And like I said, I would have put another piece somewhere around here to protect this and to prevent this blitz, because if it hadn't worked out, I think Biermanke still had a decent foul right there. So, yeah. Well, instead he's gonna go here, which is gonna be a very, very strong foul. Definitely breaks the armor. And let's see what it is. It's a death. Of course it's a death. Death into death. So there you go. That's the death of a legend. Very, very, very unfortunate there for Demon. But then again, do not leave your killers isolated, prone to any fouling. It's very important to keep your team close by. Very, very important. Uh, as much as humanly possible. Because, I mean, yeah, obviously, Biermanke's fouling has been on point, like 2 fouls, 2 removals. Obviously, his fouler got sent off, but it doesn't change the fact that it was a fairly lucky foul. But still, it's a foul that happens. Demon finally not piling on from. I always recommend piling on as much as humanly possible, but I only do so when you can get away with it. And he could have been getting away with it for quite a while. Except he went for the targets that actually were isolated, which were not ideal for him to pile on, in my opinion. Now obviously Biermanke got the lightning bolt. Uh, I'm assuming that his idea was that if it's carried somewhere around here, he could blitz this guy, pick up the ball, probably punt it somewhere around here, send scoring threats, and yeah, and then put Demon in a lot of trouble. Instead, he changed his mind, which, to be fair, the one on the wizard kind of changed the dynamics of the drive, because now Demon can grind it out as much as humanly possible. He's been able to get 2 removals, one of them through getting boot, but it is what it is. It's still a removal. At this point, it's the numbers that count, you know, as sad as it may sound. Uh, so I think at this point, uh, you just want to press on to get as many removals as you possibly can. And that's another free removal. So suddenly, I think Demon's got this drive in the grasp of his hands. Like all he needs is to keep grinding out the rats. He just wants them gone. Like it's more of a numbers game than it is a quality removals game. I think at this point, getting the numbers is more important than anything. And if I'm Biermanke at this point, I'm probably thinking that I want to keep the core of my team alive, so I'm probably not going to over-engage. Then I'll only start being aggressive on turns 14 and 15 when Demon needs to score. That's another casualty, very 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 important casualty there. Biermanke uses the power apple in case that this goes into overtime. Very very interesting. So yes, at this point, Biermanke only has like uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that can do things. So Demon can actually abuse a bit the rats and the fact that they're a little bit underpowered compared to his strong boys. Oh, Biermanke greed rerolling. That could bite him in the hand eventually. It does get the stun, but yeah, yeah, he's essentially at this point. Biermanke's positioning is a very conservative one. He's telling Demon, "You can go ahead and score and impede it. It doesn't bother me. However, I'm gonna keep these guys protected." Um, which is fair enough to be honest, because like all he needs to do is try the one turn on turn 16. Um, and if it doesn't work and it goes into overtime, then he can obviously try to score with Skaven bullshit. Um, if I were Demon, I still would go for the stall, because you're not gonna bully them as much as you can. You're not gonna be able to bully them as much as you can right now. Um, if you allow his players to come back, because at this point, like I said, the numbers count more than the quality. So a bit of a shame that he didn't send his that he didn't start getting a little bit, you know, to the point where he starts pressuring these guys. Um, the dirty player is gone, so that's no longer a threat. Uh, so I think you can just hand it over to try to hand off to someone maybe. Oh no, because he's low on rerolls, so maybe not. Okay, so he's trying to be conservative because of that. Still, in Demon is in a bad position. Let's face it. His look has been fairly bad. Um, and he also needs more bench for his team. In my opinion, that would have made a heaps of difference. Um, and yeah, obviously Monkey going for the very loose screen that allows him to try to minimize blocks, try to make it as hard as possible for the orcs. But the fact that they got closer means that now Demon can come somewhere around here, uh, start getting his killer to to put his killer to use and keep the ball protected in a kind of cage somewhere around here. Um, which let's see what Demon does. Um, yeah, I think he just tries to pile on and then scores, which is a bit unfortunate because, like I said, Demon had the advantage considering the current players on the pitch. A bit risky to take that GF the one with the GFI, but it is what it is. Piling on, not quite giving him the result he expected, but that is what it is as well. And he scores with this guy, so I think this is potentially the worst turn to score for Orcs, I'm afraid, because 4 turns, they don't have enough turns to score back on the Rats. And the Rats with 4 turns have more than enough time to score. Um, Also, they don't necessarily need to score during the full 4 turn stall because obviously, even just scoring on turn 15, uh, even just 2 turning means that, so they wait until turn 15, 14. That means Orcs have to score in 2 turns, which is not their forte. Even though they can do it, it's not their biggest strength. But that's in case things go desperately bad. But if he just waits until turn 15, then at that point, it's all over. So all he needs to do is 2 turns of stalling to then score, which is not the hardest thing that I've ever seen. He's got 2 rerolls as well, so that's something to bear in mind. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, BMK gets the kick is here, so it would mean that I think BMK needs to be conservative with this, so put some players before he does anything else. Because if something fails, um, then like this is a 3 dice, and he can just start crowding around the ball. So okay, it makes the pickup. Definitely needs to reroll this. So this is the one that he couldn't afford to sneak. And yeah, the rest of the so he's definitely somewhere around here. I think there's a tempting thing, but I think you gotta try to defend this the regular way, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you want to start putting pressure. Forget this guy. Bimink doesn't even want to score with him. This guy's okay. This guy's a scoring threat, so you might be tempted to actually put someone in slaps a backwork or something over there, just in case. But to safety, I can get behind this decision. Um, and yeah, so yeah, the monkey has oh shit, demon has obviously he needs to kind of defend from this. I think it's nice that he's got the stand firm over here. He can put it here, and he can make a decent screen on this side of the pitch. Um, Obviously, make some safe moves first. Try to go for the 6+ surf. Yes, I think the tilt probably had something to do into this decision because he tends to be a lot more cautious than this, I'm afraid. So after this, it's obviously game over for the Orcs. There's nothing they can do. Um, this guy's out of position. The Rats can just stall it out here, no problem whatsoever. He can just double screen, or even just single screen will do. But this guy can't do anything. This guy's the only one who can do anything. He's about to get blitzed. Even rerolled. Okay, so that does get into a hit, and now the screen is kind of not something that Demon can dodge through. Um, so yeah, that's essentially game. At this point, it's just a bit of posturing, a bit of Demon trying to get some SPP and trying to kill some rats essentially. Uh, which is fair enough because I mean the rats have pulled out so much bullshit this game. And I can't really blame Beam Monkey for trying because I mean yeah, you might as well, right? You don't get dice like this every game, so when you get them, you gotta make use of them, right? Um, Obviously for Demon, probably this guy is the biggest loss of the game. So definitely not something to be glad about. Um, but yeah, at this point, Demon is just he's gonna foul this. He's gonna try to palm. Oh yeah. Oh no, that thing doesn't have palm. He's just trying to get a couple of SPP here and there and foul this kind of spite foul. But I can get why. This guy, like the two Claw Mighty Blow, have been making his life miserable this game. So I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Uh, let's see how it ends. And strength boost, isn't it? Yes, an 8. So strength boost into death. Obviously, you don't keep strength 2, rat, do you? That isn't a good runner, of course. And yeah, that's essentially game at this point. Beer Monkey takes it 2-1. And yeah, that's game. Well played by both of them. And congratulations to Bear Monkey for making it to the final. He'll have to face Saima with one less Storm Vermin, so that's gonna be bad for him. Also, the MVP is kind of terrible for Bear Monkey. Demon at this point, Ratbug is he's getting very close to 76 SPP, so maybe he'll get guard at that point.